Hello again folks, it's Sarakos again from AsylumPvP, and this time we're on the Valgro map talking about the solo farm mod which we have here on the cluster. We're a 10x harvest cluster, and we also have 10x XP and 25 times taming rates. This means that, relatively speaking, for a PvP server we have quite slow farming rates. However, we offset that in a few ways. First of all, we have a fairly sizable stacking mod that stacks us to 10k, and we also have some weight reductions in place that help, as well as some melee increases and general farming increases to boost the rate gain there. However, the big ace in the deck, as it were, the secret weapon, is the solo farm mod, and that's what we're here to talk about today. So many old Arkers will be used to the whole farming method of carrying one of the gathering dinos with another dino so that you get a lot more. In this case, we're going to show you how to do that with just one player instead of the traditional two. Okay. With the solo farm mod, there's actually a couple of items you can use to do this in a couple of different ways, but I'm going to stick with what I consider to be the easiest way, and that is the solo farm remote. Now, I've already crafted one of these. It costs 1 thatch and it's available in your player's inventory, so I'm not going to go through that whole process. I'm sure we all know how to craft something. But essentially, we're just going to go through how to set it up for the basic general functions that most people want. Okay. So first things first, just go ahead and pull out your solo farm remote, give it a click, and at that point you should get the control window. Okay. So the control window will provide you with a bunch of buffs. You can save these as presets in the traditional fashion of the SS remotes, or the S Plus remotes if you're more familiar with those. Left click to save, right click to load. But simply put, what we're going to do is we're going to tell the Ankilo what we want to keep and what we don't. So if we click on all of these, it will drop everything. Okay, and once the remote is programmed, as I said earlier, you can save that preset, so you don't have to do this every single time. Most of these are quite obvious. The resource is clear from the picture: flint, stone, thatch, etc. If you're doing a metal run, these aren't things you want, but you will want to make sure that you leave raw metal in the Ankilo. Okay. In some cases, you may want to leave the primitive loot on, but in most cases you're going to turn that off. This will drop anything below apprentice level, so if you do happen to kill an alpha with it and you get something apprentice or above, then it will not drop that. You will still get to keep that. Okay. And as you've probably noticed, I've left the first one switched off. So we're going to go ahead and turn that on now, but let me just explain. That is the farm mode enabler itself, and that is the real key to how this mod works. That is the one that is going to make the Ankilo swing away without someone on it clicking. Okay, so we've set our program. We're going to go ahead and left click save it to preset 1 and then click done. Okay, so now when I click my remote, it starts the Ankilo swinging immediately. Okay, if I right click and select preset 1, it's going to bring up those settings again, and if I left click again, the Ankilo is going to stop. Some of the more PvP minded among you have already figured out that there are some interesting ways to use these. You know, sticking them at tight spots and swinging away is a handy defense in some cases. An Ankilo with full melee does quite a bit of damage. There are some rules around that, so do just check out our server rules before you use them in that way, because you might find you lose your Ankilo, but creative use is encouraged, so if you're not sure, just check with us. Check with one of the admins or the guards. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and do a quick farming run just so we can see how this works. I'm going to go ahead and left click that so that it starts swinging on the program we've set. We're going to hop on our RG in the traditional fashion, and this time, instead of spending a million attempts to try and pick up an Ankilo with a rider, there's no rider, so it's very easy. We can go ahead and swing this around. Now bear in mind, this Ankilo is bought from the shop. It's a max level tame, so it's a 269 Ankilo. I'm going to swing it a bit through some other stuff, not just the metal, so you can see what's happening. Okay. This has not been leveled at all on melee. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and drop it back down now and land. Hop off, take out our remote, and left click to stop the Ankilo. Okay, let's have a look what's inside. And as you can see, it has only gathered raw metal. Everything else, the wood, the stone, the flint, etc., has been automatically dropped from the Ankylo as it went along. Okay, obviously this enables you to farm longer, it enables you to farm more effectively, it lets you just get what you want to get. You don't have an Ankylo full of berries and thatch and whatever else. Okay, once you've leveled your Ankylo, then obviously you can imagine that this is a really effective farming method with the 10k stack mod, with the weight reductions, etc, etc. This will work with the core farming dinos, so the Ankylo, the Dodic, I believe the Beaver, but I'm not certain on that one, I'd have to double check. And of course the carrying dino is irrelevant, so this will work on Aberration if you're carrying your dinos with a Karkinos crab or any other dino that carries them along. Okay. So I hope this video has been helpful in explaining the solo farm mod. I know for some of you it's hard to solo, and I hope that this helps you out. Welcome to the Asylum, and I hope to see you around in the Discord.